If it hurts, game breaks, we'll get you, know let us put on more speed. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, through the games after this win it is. Rush you again, we're for the first minute. Carry my team there 6 minutes.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Just look around. You got the mountains, you got the most beautiful city in the whole entire country. The university is absolutely, looks like it's out of a storybook. It's just beautiful. People are incredibly genuine and extremely nice. It's just a place that obviously I'd want my kids to go to school. And it sells itself. You don't have to sell anything about this place. You just got to get them here. You know, the old field of dreams. Yeah. Build it and they will come. It's already built.
Let me just say one more thing. The standard at Tennessee is to be elite on defense. This is the home of Reggie White, Al Wilson, Eric Berry.
Yeah, you know, again, I think we should really have the best defensive line in the country. You know, I feel really good about our depth that we're building. I feel really strongly about, you know, their attitude and the determination that those guys have played with. You know, and again, I'm not even talking as much about football, just great guys. You know, they're great human beings and, you know, they've really worked hard. And, you know, as coaches, we want to see guys develop and reach their full potential.
Consistent competitors, elite competitors. You're the same guy every single day, no matter who's in the stands, everybody 102,000 or nobody. Opponents nameless, it's faceless, being consistent in the way that we approach the game. We had a good start to the football game.
But you know what? Let's talk a little Vols. That is not me trying to take any shine away from the phenomenal channel Talking Vols, and my guy Boogie Bentley runs, so shout out to them. But let's talk a little Vols here.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. He's Coach Jay. He's Coach Rice. Boys, sometimes in life you sit down and you paint this pretty little picture. You think it's going to go the way you expected, and it doesn't. But let me tell you something else. Tennessee is 4-0. You want me to break your heart real quick? You want me to break your heart at the top of the postgame show? We're a third of the way through the season. We're a third of the way through the regular season. But guess what?
Worst news of the night.
We've done what we are supposed to do. We've gone out. We've handled business. We've taken care of business. It may not always. Wait, what is it? What is it? Hold on. What is it that Coach Heupel says all the time? What's the quote that we love?
Doesn't have to be perfect. Ain't gonna be perfect. We go compete for 60 freaking minutes. All right, enjoy the opportunity, enjoy the environment, and then go play our butts off, play for one another, and have a hell of a lot of fun. Everybody got me? All right.
Ain't got to be perfect, ain't going to be perfect. The bottom line is Tennessee sits here at 4-0 after taking care of Oklahoma 25-15. And just like usual, here we go moving the goalpost. Oklahoma sucks. Let's start with that. No, we're not going to start with that. We're going to talk about this football team. We're going to talk about this win. Like I said, didn't necessarily look the way we may have thought, but something I like. I love this football team. I love this football team. And like we've talked about, as the season has started to play out here, it doesn't always have to be Nico. It doesn't always have to be Dylan Sampson. Sometimes you can lean on your defense. Sometimes you can lean on Jackson Ross, who played his tail off tonight. He was a weapon tonight. But let's go opening comments. Coach Jay, what'd you think tonight's win over Oklahoma?
I'm going to start off with a lot of good guys, but don't worry, I'm not going to be sunshine pumping all night. I have plenty to critique here. I wrote a novel of critique over here in my notes. I think it's the most notes I've ever written down. So I have a ton of them. But let me just buzz through a couple of the key ones really quick. I thought Nico was cooking early. I don't think it's disputable. He was 6 for 8. The strike on the touchdown pass to Thornton was a thing of absolute beauty. The pass to Brew was great. There were beautiful moments early. When Campbell got hurt, it was a problem, guys. We had 3 out of the 5 starting offensive linemen down, and they could not handle Oklahoma when that happened. And hey, listen, I've heard people in the chat, like I said, saying Oklahoma's not that good. That defense is good, and take your hat off to them. They played their tail off today. They played their absolute tail off. I hated to see. What is it, Dovey, the kid that got hurt? Kind of like how Brew did. That broke my heart. I hate to see that. That kid was playing hard. Hated to see that. Obviously, the defense was great. We did take him into deep water. I know everyone's upset about us taking the foot off the gas and playing conservative, and we did take our foot off the gas and play conservative there at the end. But think about it. Both teams got into a situation where they were only playing 2 to 3 starters at times. Both teams had 5-star quarterbacks, and both teams could not run. One of those quarterbacks got you the win and the points you needed. The other one didn't finish the game. So I think that speaks volumes and volumes right there. Once again, I don't like the grass. I don't like the refereeing, and I don't like playing not to lose there at the end. But everything else, look, a lot of y'all were nervous, super nervous before this game. We won this game, guys. It's a springboard game, no matter if it was pretty or not.
Coach Ross, opening thoughts.
One thing you could tell, even though we started out kind of slow, it was 10-3, 12-3, I never thought the game was out of our hand. Like, I never thought there was a chance for Oklahoma to, force the momentum and take over this game. I thought it was Tennessee's game the whole time. And even though the game itself was ugly in some sense, I know some people love a good defensive barn burner. And I know we scored 25 points and probably could have scored a little bit more if we were healthy, given our offensive line issues. I know several of you liked and reposted my tweet. We got to get our tackles back. John Campbell, I think he tried to come back in and I think they decided it's not worth it. Let's let Dane Davis and Larry Johnson finish it out, and then you can come back after the bye. But we got to get our tackles back, and guys, we got to figure out something about guard. But defensively, guys, it is unreal. We haven't seen this type of defense for years. Like, it's been years since we've seen this type of defense. So I'm talking about like Philip Fulmer days is the last time we saw this type of defense. And they're controlling the game. Like, they're literally forcing the opposing team to change the way they play. And so I thought it was a great team effort. I do think the conservativeness was because of our offensive line injuries and because of how bad that field was. I think it was two things. It kind of forced our hand a little bit because of both tackles being out and Dane Davis was getting exposed. The kicking game was great. Kicker looks great. I mean, he's stepping up every time and knocking the kicks through the field goals. So got a lot of work on, but hey, 1-0 in SEC play, 4-0 in the season. We got great rest of the season, but we got to get healthy on this bye week.
We're going to go through it all. Like, I get it. There's some reason to be frustrated or things that we could talk about and get into and break down. But if anybody's being negative right now, and there's a difference between criticism and negativity, but if you're calling this ugly and sloppy and pathetic, I don't know what you watched. Tennessee went out and they were in a heavyweight title fight and they won. And like Coach Rice just said, it was never really in doubt. And then it's like, how about this defense, right? When you're out there with your third string left tackle, backup right tackle, Nico gets blindsided, fumbles the football, puts it on the 5-yard line at one point. What did the defense do both of those times? Both those times Nico got sacked and fumbled. They forced a turnover on the very next play. They said, don't worry, hold my beer or my apple juice, and I'm going to go out here and I'm going to get you the ball back. That's what I'm going to do, and that's what they did. That's complimentary football. That's a beautiful thing. It doesn't have to be going out and scoring 70 points and putting up a goose egg. Just go win, baby. That's all that matters. Let me catch up with you guys. And, of course, the first one out of the gate is Rocky Top Tom. Rocky Top Tom, I love you. I think you maybe need to take a deep breath and realize that Tennessee is 4-0 with 2 wins over top 25 opponents, one of those being on the road. And when's the last time they said that we beat a top 15 team on the road? I mean, I don't even remember how long it's been. It's been forever. Soak it in. Enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. You're going to look back. You're going to be miserable one day, Tom. That was a piss poor win that I've seen in recent memory.
The only thing I would classify as piss poor in that game was offensive line play, but a lot of it was due to injury. A lot of that was due to injury. And is that making an excuse for some of the backups? Maybe. But look, I'll stand on this fact. Oakland, no, hell no. I'll just stand on facts, not business. That's just dumb. That defense was a good dang defense. There was a reason Oklahoma was who knows your team's better than you, right? Who's been spouting about this secondary for Tennessee that was really good, that saw McCoy get picks underneath? I think I said something about corners getting picks underneath in this game, by the way. This secondary played really, really, really well. But the O-line, they needed work, I guess, to make a long story short. We'll get into all of it.
I got 39 super chats backed up, and you let me get through half of one. Let's jam some super chats.
The thing is, Boogie, this 10% fee has to stop. Like, I'm sick and tired of these people price gouging us.
You got one more thing?
Sorry. It's important. Hold on. Just one more thing.
Rocky Top Tom said that was the most piss poor win I have seen in recent memory. Oklahoma lost that game. We did not win. I'm pretty sure it's a dub. Pretty sure Tennessee's 4-0. We have a lot of work to do for Arkansas. That's fine, Tom. That last statement is perfectly fine. Austin Stubblefield for 10. Happy with the win, not the offensive play calls. We were way too conservative. Nico played good despite conditions. Defense was elite. GBO, this game had my blood pressure up. Refs were trash. We're going to talk about being conservative. Don't worry. Don't give a chip for 5. I hated the conservative play calling in the second half. I was tweeting about the first drive. We're going to talk about it. Foul meaning for 5. A win is a win is a win is a win. Watch tape. Get better for the next one. Win and advance. Knoxville Buckeye for 20. Yeah, why not? We'll play the clip. If it gets obnoxious, we'll stop.
Rocky Top!
Knoxville Buckeye for 20 says, screw the Nega Vols. Last year, we had been screaming about a double-digit win on the road against a top 25 SEC team. I think you got to realize where we've been and where we're at, and we're complaining about pretty much domination. They ran the football for 1.1 yards per carry. So if you want to say that was a terrible game or a sloppy game or an awful game or the ugliest win when our defense went out and gave up 1 yard per carry on the ground, no, you're not allowed to say that around here. Shout out Knoxville Buckeye. We appreciate it. Dylan for 2, kind of mad win, to be honest, but happy. Austin Bailey for 5 says the refs tried, but they couldn't pull Oklahoma over the finish line. GBO, best defense in the country. Seth P for 5. See you sooner, Boomers. Welcome to the SEC. You know what's going to go down in history? 70 years from now, when we're all dead and gone, except for maybe Coach Rice, because he's just a little tiny baby. When we're all dead and gone and they're doing trivia questions on Saturday night, who was the first team to ever beat Oklahoma in an SEC conference game? It's going to be Tennessee forever. Vol fan for life for 2. It's a dub, period. Brandon Lively becomes a member of the channel. Shout out, Brandon. We appreciate you. You guys can hit that join button. It's just $1, and you keep the show going. We appreciate you guys. VFL Willie for 2. Defense played great. Disappointed in the offensive line. Vol fan 25 drops a 20 spot. It's orange. I love orange. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Ball fan for 20. Tennessee will keep taking care of business and keep the competitive mindset. Coach Jay said it. I've regurgitated it. Then he says that we say it. I'll allow it. It's not fan service. Just go win, baby. Don't matter how. Don't matter what you do. Don't matter what the scoreboard looks like, as long as you got more points than the other team. Carson for 2. Game 5 is 1/3 national championship. Here we come. Preston Porter for 10. Few things to work on. Super emotional game for Josh. Proud of our boys. Few weeks to work on stuff. Then on to Bama 4-0. Captain Woodland for 5. Great defensive win, but the officials were absolutely terrible. They did their best to make sure we didn't cover. Well, too bad, Vegas. We did. Carl for 2. Special win for Coach Heupel's mama. Had me tearing up. Austin Murray for 5. Negavoll is going to be out in full force. Oklahoma has a legit defense. We won 4-0. Vols girl for 5. They are already moving the needle, saying that Oklahoma is overrated. I'm over it. Go Vols. We knew it was going to happen. Austin Gertz for 5. Dave Hooker. Talkin VAWLS greater than Dave Hooker. GBO, baby, what a defensive showing. This front 7 is one of the best in the country. Dude, the linebackers, too. We'll talk about it. Wesley Page for 5. Bishop was a great compliment to Sampson this game and played great. I think he was better than Sampson tonight.
Yeah, agreed.
Christian L for 2. Huge win, even if the offensive output isn't 100%. MG Wade for 5. Offense and special teams. Jackson Ross and Gilbert looked excluding Jackson Ross and Gilbert looked horrible. 10 penalties, 81 yards, ugliest win in recent memory. The Griff for 5. Open up the state treasury for Garner and Banks. This defense still makes us elite. Dylan Elam for 5. Dane Davis has been in Knoxville since the Obama administration and still can't blitz.
That is true.
Ryu Zach for 2. If we had Lance, this is a different score. Captain Woodland for 2. Chris Fowler is currently crying. He is horrible. Horrible, he said. All right, we're going to take a break from the Super Chats. We'll catch back up. Keep them coming. We'll keep taking a break to read them, but I want to kind of balance conversation versus going and getting your all's thoughts back and forth is the best way to go. Let's talk about being conservative, and we'll start with Coach Rice because he's an offensive coach. Let's just talk Heupel being conservative in general, right? Because right out of the gate, we talk about put your foot on your throat, right? Nico's quote and all that stuff and how dominant we are, and Josh Heupel's aggressive. So you go out there, 4th and 2 at midfield, Oklahoma decides to go for it. They're going to go for it. They're playing aggressive. That's the type of stuff we see from Josh Heupel. Shout out to Jamal McCoy for getting the pass breakup. Tennessee takes over at the 50. And I'm thinking, all right, you're going to take a shot. You're going to come out. You're going to be aggressive, something. You end up with 4th and 2 from the Oklahoma 42. Right out of the gate, Coach Rice, do you not think that Josh Heupel's going for that 99% of the time?
99. If we have both tackles, he's going for that 100% of the time. If he has the whole thing in this game, the reason why we went conservative, the reason why Coach Heupel changed his whole game plan from especially the way it was early in the game is because A, we were on the road, and B, we were down 2 offensive tackles, and C, Nico's a freshman. Yes, he looked more mature than any of our quarterbacks have, but he didn't look mature in his time. But recently, Nico, he's still growing. And so I think Heupel's fine with getting the points, but there was a couple times where I did think Heupel was more conservative than he has ever been in his time at Tennessee. But a lot of that I could correlate with the 2 offensive tackles being gone or not in the game.
Yeah, no, let me, and I know you'll get to the Super Chat in a minute, but listen, the offense isn't the only side guilty of being too conservative in this game. The defense did it too. They got into a prevent defense with 9 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Not a nickel, not a dime, a 3-man prevent defense at times. That's unacceptable to me as a defensive coach. I think the defense played great, stood on their head. They're awesome.
But then look what they did.
My opinion.
when
But
push came to shove late, what'd they do?
yeah, then they
went
stepped
aggressive.
it back
Then they
up.
went aggressive.
Yeah, and you can't do that though because yeah, you got away with it against a young kid who stepped in. But if that's the same situation in Georgia, are we going to get away with it there? You do have to think about that. We can't just stay back on our heels. We have to attack as a defense. We are an aggressive, hard hitting, super fast, fly around defense. And when you stop hanging your hat on that, it's a problem. And it almost became a problem in this game. That's just how I feel about it. And yeah, the offense got too conservative too. We talked about it in the back room. The slant and the post were there all day. Every time we threw it wide open, we laced them. The only time it didn't work was the time I think there was one that Nico missed through, and I think there was one that Squirrel dropped when it looked like the grass gave out on him. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, although I thought Squirrel kind of had a rough night out there overall.
Let me
I think one thing that we're seeing the struggles on the offensive line is Oklahoma. I will give it to them. They were prepared. They did have, they were coached with Coach Jeff Levy, who's now at Mississippi State. They have similar game styles. So they did kind of have an idea of how to prepare and how to defend Coach Heupel. Yes, it's a little different. Each offense has its own, tendencies and nuances. But I did think the way Oklahoma defended us was very smart, even though I thought the middle of the field was open at times. But, at the end of the day, y'all, yes, a win's a win. Was it the prettiest? I'm not going to say it was the ugliest, but it wasn't the prettiest. There's definitely tons of things we got to clean up, getting ready for the Arkansas game. But the best thing about all of this is, guys, we're 4-0. We're 1-0 in the SEC, and we got to buy to get healthy. I'm not sure what the deal was with Boo Carter, John Campbell. Hopefully he could, obviously it wasn't too bad. He came back in. Yeah, Boo Carter, I think, was concussion.
I think it was a concussion.
Yeah.
I was texting with somebody during the game, and they said it was actually shoulder, but he was in sweatpants on the sideline. That doesn't seem like shoulder to me. But who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, but we'll see. But yeah, that's the biggest difference is the offensive line play. Guys, we'll be fine. We just gotta get healthy on this bye week.
Dude, even if Boo's out, you know who's a dog? You know who I saw flying around tonight making plays, showing that NFL blood? Christian Harrison.
Yes.
I thought he looked like a
he's
dog
all over
tonight.
my notes.
He was flying around everywhere making plays tonight. Like, I had a note that Andre Turrentine, gold jacket, green jacket, needs to go find a spot beside Will Brooks on the sideline where they can talk about how athletic and talented Jacoby Thomas is.
As well.
Dude, Jacoby Thomas is a dog. That dude and Keenan Peely, like they choose violence, man. Like, I don't know. This defense just feels different. And I know we knew the defensive line was going to be good, but there are some dogs. Like, you guys talk all the time when you're watching film. I need my defense to have a little dog on them. Be kind of like Jeremy Banks. Be on the edge. I like Jeremy Banks was good for a 15-yarder every game. And I need my defensive guys to be on that edge where you're not quite there to get that flag. But dang, man, they're going to be looking, saying, is that a penalty? They're looking around, and I think that's what Keenan Peely definitely, Jacoby Thomas definitely has that dog. Let me catch up with you guys in the chat. Noah Cockle, member for 28 months. Now they'll say Oklahoma was a bad football team. Dakota Dickens for 5. I'll take the dub. We have to stay on the gas on both sides of the ball for 4 quarters. Prevent defense isn't our strong point. GBO. We're all in agreement here. We are all in agreement of going too conservative. Jordan Heron, member for 13 months. The field was terrible. Rip for 5. 2 out of the 4 teams we have played, our defense has forced the other team's head coach to bench their starters. GBO. Luke Thompson for 10, donating for the defense tonight. Love y'all on GBO. Well, thank you, Luke. We appreciate the super chat. David Hall for 2. I love it. Awesome game plan. Moy was a beast. Oh, yeah, another dude that was just
Moy
making plays.
Yeah.
Tyler Steele for 2. What a coaching blunder by Venables. You don't do that. Tyler Steele for another 2. Also, Heupel said he held back on the reins. He said that post-game?
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he said that.
I don't like that.
You know what? The one thing I do love about our coaching staff, and I believe this wholeheartedly, they self-evaluate really, really well. I think they will go back and look at some of the choices they made and kind of coach them up. It's hard to know exactly what choices those are, right? Because we're not in their locker room. You know, we don't know exactly what was called and that kind of thing. But I think they'll go back and look at it and think, you know what, this was working, that was working. We could have done a couple things a little better. But I kind of got their thought process too with everything Coach Rice was saying about injuries and leads and stuff like that. You could understand it. It's just, you know, looking at it from a 10,000-foot view, you can kind of see some of the holes in what was done.
Everybody's still talking because I saw somebody else in the chat. Windy City Mutt said he did. He said, I pulled them back some. That's not Josh Heupel like. And then I see other people chiming in and saying he held off because of it was his buddies. I don't think that's it. I think what you guys are saying about the tackles had something to do with it. But do you think the pressure, Coach Rice, maybe got to him a little bit here where he knew this was a big time game and he was content. He felt confident. Look, the first drive, there's no excuse. Everybody that wants to talk about, he was living on the defense, not in the first drive of the game. That's not your mindset on drive number 1. But the rest of the game, maybe you're looking at it and saying, our defense is playing great. They're not scoring points. Let's be conservative. Let's chew clock. Let's get the heck out of here. And, you know, they even said it on the broadcast. They basically quoted Coach Jay without quoting Coach Jay when they talked about other teams with tempo. When they kind of slow down, they struggle, but Tennessee doesn't. Boy, we struggled last year when we slowed down tempo.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on that, Coach Rice, of why Coach Heupel pulled the reins back?
Well, mainly because what I said earlier, it's so important to have those 2 tackles. I know it's going to get tired of hearing me saying that in this stream. But having Lance Hurd and John Cap, like it's so important because Dane Davis isn't it. I love Dane Davis because he is a good versatile swing guy, but he is not a starting left tackle or right tackle in the SEC. He's just not. He's a good versatile swing guy for depth who can come in and end a game if needed. And then Larry Johnson's just not ready. But that's the reason why he goes conservative. He's trying to shorten the game. Do I hate it? Yes, I hate it because that's just not in me. Boogie will tell you from playing me on NCAA, I'm the most aggressive person in the country. But it's just I don't know when you have to draw a line of when's it right to be conservative, when's the right to, you know, push the buttons and keep your foot on the pedal.
Yeah. I like this. Shout out Dublin, by the way. I like that comment.
That's my boy.
Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to say it. I didn't know if you wanted to say it was your son or not. But I, whether it was by design or not, I don't know that it was by design, but it definitely plays into Tennessee's hands moving forward because they didn't show nothing in this game. I got to continue to jam with you guys on Super Chats. Wesley Page for 2. Bishop was a great compliment to Sampson. I think I already read that one. Big Orange Mountain for 10. Good point, Boogie. That was our first top 15 road win since 2006. Huge step. Almost 20 years. Our first top 15 road win in almost 20 years. So I'll stop complaining. Enjoy it. Yes, you can be critical without saying it's the ugliest win I've ever seen. Well, dang it. If winning a game on the road against a top 15 opponent for the first time in 20 years is the ugliest game you ever seen, then dang it, we're doing something pretty good around here. Rolly season for 5. I like how Hype being conservative on 4th and letting the kicker get experience for moments like the 22 game. I liked him kicking the 3 late because it was a 16-point game. And then
they should have.
You got that 2-point conversion stop. You knew, man, it's all right. It's pretty much over at this point. Louisiana ball for 10. Good news, fellas. Baby girl's fine. Wife's fine. I'll spare you all the details. Basically nothing we can do to make it better or worse. Watched on the hospital TV the whole time. How about them balls? Good to hear Louisiana ball. Appreciate the super chat, brother. Hope everything continues to go well. Call for 2. Eckler going to be pissed about the lousy punt lanes. Tyler Steele for 2. Why do you pull your starter in the second quarter? I guess because he's getting his brains beat in. Atomic Gas Man for 2. Says more that we won without having to score 50. Complimentary football. It's Rome, baby. What's up, brother? For 10, our starting 2 tackles didn't even play, and we still made things happen. Our defense ensemble's elite. I'm mad at the third string guys gave up all those yards. Cody Copeland for 10. I've never paid much attention to Oklahoma's field. Is that normal field condition for them? Rocky Top Tom. We won the first half, then took our foot off, maybe due to the field, and Heupel didn't want injuries. I saw, who was it? Somebody was talking about, God, I don't even remember. I think it was on VolQuest on one of the message boards, talking about teams letting the field grow by design to slow the opposing team down.
People do it in high school
all the time. Yep.
That field was, it was awful.
And not only that, you know, a lot of times, I've been on teams where we'll try to check out what kind of cleats the opposing team's wearing in warmups, because sometimes you'll catch teams that are wearing mud spikes, you know what I mean, wet down fields, all kinds of bull crap. So it certainly happens, which is unfortunate, because you know what? Guess what? One of those people who got hurt due to field conditions was one of theirs.
And it was
that's
bad.
sad. Yeah. I just don't like pulling off the gas ever, because I think injuries happen when you don't go full speed and play to your full potential. I just kind of, I don't know, believe that.
Let me keep jamming. You guys,
you don't stick to your person, your coach, your philosophy. You know, everything that you build your team on, your character is all about your philosophy. If you don't stick to it, I get, you know, doing what you got to do, but you could tell we were out of fundamentals on the offense on some plays.
She's not lying.
What?
She's not lying.
I got you.
I was pacing and yelling.
Yeah, I got you. But yeah, I just think a lot of it, if you get out of your coaching philosophy, I know Coach Jay will tell you this, and I believe it the same way, it could cause a lot of problems, because it puts you in a predicament when you're not sticking true to who you are as a coach, and your players know how you coach. So when you change the way you do it, they don't react well to it.
100%. I think if you recall, Coach, one of my keys to victory was coaches, players, be yourselves, be who you are, right? It just, 100%, Coach.
That's why the conservative thing's so frustrating to me. That's why it's frustrating. That wasn't, I saw it in that first drive, and I'm like, this is not hype. And a lot of people ate me alive on Twitter. And I just, all I said was that it surprised me. It surprised me that hype, Venables just went for it on 4th and 2. It surprised me that hype didn't respond in the same fashion. Let's see here. David for 5D was amazing. Hype called a very conservative game for whatever reason. Points were not on the players, but the play calling. Don't disagree with that. Brian Thomas for 2. I definitely agree with this. Mom passed away. Alma mater. A lot to ask of hype, and he did it. Yep. He 100%. Look, at the end of the day, he's a person, man. He's a person, and he had a lot on his plate this week. And I would say walking off that field with a dub and getting to that locker room was a huge relief for him. Tyler Steele for 5. That was a Georgia-Bama style win. Get up and play smart and put the backups in and hold them absolutely dominant. A Stiddy for 5. A win is a win. My bros in 8. We trust. Hype knows what he's doing. Smart football isn't always sexy football. Anyway, there's my 2 cents in Dorothy. We appreciate you, A Stiddy. Adam Lee for 5. We whooped their freaking butts. Edited for you, book. Appreciate you, Adam Lee. Don't make me cuss on air. Angry Titan for 2. SEC top 15 road win, period. That's it. That's all Angry Titan wants to say. Ethan Moss for 10. Nothing to say, just a tip in the tip jar. We appreciate you, my friend. Matthew Watson for 2. Them boys was out there hitting. Welcome to the SEC. James Vanden becomes a member of the channel. Shout out, James. We appreciate you. Wesley for 2. Lance Hurd being out made a difference. We'll talk about that in just a second. Dirty Dodge for 2. Most complete Vols team since 98. That's convenient. That's convenient. Thank you for the super chat. J Vol for 5. Great win tonight. Dare I say the weakest part of this team right now is the inexperience of Nico, which will continue to improve each week. GBO. For me, the weakest part is the depth on the offensive line, but we knew that. We knew that.
I'll say it again. The D and Nico won this game. Period. It wasn't the running game. It wasn't the offensive line. Oklahoma's offensive line was toast like ours. The quarterback ran around, couldn't do crap, and got pulled. So what are you talking about? Kid was a freshman, walked into a super hostile environment, was poised, throw strikes, scored you know, I don't know. I just don't get that thought. I think it's
the greatest
lack of football IQ.
The greatest weakness of this team is tackle depth, and it's just it is what it is. It's not nothing on the defense is a weakness. I just they're all flying around. I get there's a couple guys that I think should deserve to play a little more than a couple other guys.
Say him, Coach Russ. Say him. Say him, Coach Russ. Get him on you. He's a dog.
Thomas should be in the game every freaking snap. That dude is flying around knocking heads off. And, but the quarterback, given the situation, can only do so much in the situation he's in. Like,
Did we win this game with Joe Milton at quarterback?
No. Okay. And if we do, it's a Texas A&M game from last year, where the defense wins and we win by a punt return or something.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
I'm processing in my head. Could Joe Milton have scored 16? Look, this Oklahoma defense came out and showed us what they were made of. They came out, they played good defense. We knew Brent Venables was going to try to do things. Man, it also tells you, talking about the tackles and the struggles, how many times did we hear on the broadcast, oh, they had 7 protecting. They had, I don't know if they ever had 8, but it's like, man, they were keeping running backs, tight ends, everybody trying to protect Nico. So then you look down the field, you got 3 guys going on routes. There's several times Nico sat back there and nobody was open. And I like that he's throwing the ball away. That's something we talked about earlier. Hey, sometimes you got to throw the football away and live to play another day. But I thought Nico played well. I think the fact that everybody keeps talking about how poised he is and his command of the offense. You heard Kirk Herbstreit talk about it. His command of the offense. He was never rattled. He was never shaken. The throw to Dante Thornton. The backyard play that he made that went for 50 and got called back.
What was that holding call? Like both of those back. Dude, I know. Dude, I was at this J, Coach. This one was worse than the NC State one.
It was so bad that Kirk Herbstreit's like, well, there's somebody holding on the right side of the offensive line too.
Like, okay.
What are you talking about?
Okay, Pally. Yeah, no, that was beautiful, and BS call. Irish Smoky Ball. I wrote it the old full word BS, very large, very very large, and circled and underlined in my quotes for the game or my notes for the game. But that was BS. That's all I'm saying.
I went into this game with the approach of I'm almost making a comparison of Nico and Jackson Arnold, same class. Right, same class, both 5 stars. There was at one point, depending on what service you looked at, Jackson Arnold was up there, and I was laughing. Shout out to A to Z Sports, love Charlie Burris over there, and they do the halftime show. And Crompton was like, "It just goes to show you that all these evaluation sites don't know what the heck they're talking about. Nico is a way better quarterback than Jackson Arnold is.
Way better. It's not close. Way better quarterback than the kid that played in for Oklahoma. He got it done, and I don't know what to tell you."
Let me hit some super chats.
Ignore the stupidity from Stephen Dean. You just ignore it. Don't even play into those hands. Just ignore it.
Sorry,
you Coach. Just did. You just played into it, Coach. Right?
No, I'm telling everyone.
My bad. I do. I know better, Coach Rice. I'm sorry.
Talk about who's in charge of this place? Bunch of freaking unprofessional savages around here. Hey, you all think about this while I jam some super chats, and then when I lose my train of thought, you bring me back to it. So if we struggle, Lance Hurd, is he banged up? Is it an off the field issue? There was some stuff floating around Twitter today that is in the chat. I'm not bringing it up. I'm not addressing. I'm not talking about it because it's speculation at this point. But there are rumors floating around that Lance Hurd was told to stay home. That's been in the chat. It was all over Twitter. It was all over the VolQuest message board during the game. So if that's the case, we may have a problem at tackle. Hopefully John Campbell's healthy. Like Coach Rice said, got the bye week, get ready, come back for Arkansas. So if you've got your third string left tackle and your backup right tackle, what's your game plan moving forward? Let me catch up with you guys in the chat. Joe Brown for 5. I can complain when I know we can do better. Still think we can beat Georgia and Bama. I pray we get healthy and ready for a natty. Joe, there's nothing wrong with pointing out things that concerned you or whatever. For me,
Whoa.
like I just the first thought out of my mouth after a 25-15 win over a top 15 opponent on the road in the SEC is not that it's ugly or it's disgusting or terrible or whatever. My thought is we got a dub, boys. Let's celebrate. We played elite defense. Now let's address the things that we need to fix or what the concerns were. There's nothing wrong, Joe, with having some concerns or questions. Perfectly fine. Joey for 5, complete team win, GBO, and 5 for Dauber's internet. His internet's not even working. He can't even get on here. John for 2, nothing to say, just a tip in the tip jar. We appreciate you. Corey Watson for 20. I'm 47. 98 was a thing of beauty. A dub is a dub. Be thankful. Exactly. Thank you, Corey, for the super chat. We appreciate it. Negaval for 5. Love being 4-0. Very dominant showing. Even ESPN is starting to admit we can beat the big boys. Butch Jones style second half. Difference, Heupel wins. Right. It's way easier to talk about him going conservative when it's after a dub. David for $5 says, but glad to see we can control a game like this. This is how we beat a Georgia and Texas and Bama. Ball fans are spoiled by 50-point games. Will Dyer, not Tom, though. Tom's probably left. He's probably sick of me fussing at him. Tom was not happy with 71-0. Tom had problems with that game. Will Dyer for 10. Love y'all. Confidence down to 90%. We go undefeated. Can't wait to hear Oklahoma fans say if that kid started, they would have beat us. Let them make the excuses like Coach Jay said this morning. Caleb for 2. We do have the team for the Natty. If healthy, got to stay healthy. James Fair for 2. Crompton said Hype doesn't fully trust Nico.
No.
I don't think so. I was waiting for Coach Jay to answer that.
Yeah, I will say
ahead.
real quick, though, because someone brought up taking care of the ball, because I'm psychotic, right, Boogie? You know how psychotic I am. I pulled it back. You're welcome to do it yourselves. 1.6 seconds on the first fumble was the rush he got. That's how long it took. 1.8 seconds and face masked on the second one that wasn't called.
Yep.
So, whatever.
Tackles.
And
we're going to keep
tackles.
We're going to keep
repeating
it's
it.
true.
It's the truth.
It's the truth.
It is what it is.
That's why, and I know you said we'd get back to it if we don't have Lance Hurd. Yeah, I hate to tell you this, but I'm changing my season to prediction to 9-3 or 10-2 if we don't have the tackles. Like if we don't have John Campbell and Lance Hurd, we're not going 11-1 or 12-0. It's just not happening.
You got to be confident. You got to be confident.
There yet.
You got to be confident that Campbell's going to be back.
I
got to wear Tennessee on my I'm wearing a Tennessee shirt right now that says Vols by Fitty. So tell me more that I need to wear Tennessee stuff. What are you talking about? Why are you so concerned with what a grown man's wearing on YouTube?
Your hat's not Tennessee.
I'm sorry that the shirt says Vols by Fitty. Oh my gosh, you're just looking. You're just looking. I think John Campbell will be back because he came back in the game, right? That tells you that, and maybe it's like you got the bye week, like you said, that helps you. So let's say you get Campbell back for Arkansas, but maybe something goes down with Hurd and he doesn't come back. Hopefully he's back. God bless, please, sweet little tiny baby Jesus. Please let Lance Hurd be back. We need him. But let's say he's not, or let's say Hurd's back and Campbell's out. What do you do, Coach Rice? What do you scheme up for this football team to cover up the inefficiencies at tackle?
You got. I love Dane Davis for everything he's done for Tennessee, but you're gonna have to look at another route. Like I don't know if the freshman use this bye week, and see who can help you out other than Dane Davis, because he got burnt the whole night, and I know. We don't want to be negative, but because there's a W, but him and Carriage got burnt all night long. And but hey, it's something that you're going to have to scheme up against. I mean, Heupel's done it before. You got to go back to our favorite screenplays. Get rid of the ball quickly and trust that run game. I'm not saying I think Larry Johnson did fine in the run blocking. But when it comes to pass blocking, guys, our backup tackle's got some issues.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a problem with Bennett Warren. I know some people in the chat are asking, and earlier in the chat, someone was saying, do they not trust him?
He came in the fall.
Yeah, he's a true freshman who came in the fall, like Coach Rice just said. I just think, look, the O-line and D-line aren't position groups where you really come into the SEC, specifically on the road. and throw them out there. Dane Davis has a lot of problems, true, like dealing with speed, any kind of speed off the edge specifically, which is why I brought up the 1.8 seconds and the shorter one. But you know, you can run into bigger problems on the road. You could have multiple false start penalties. That was a problem last year. I know we had, I think, maybe 1, 2 in this game, false start penalties, but they can pile up. You can get a lot of them, and those are offensive killers. So you got to watch that. And
I'll take false starts over sacks every day, though.
That's true. That's true. If you're
like,
getting blindsided, you're going to lose the ball.
Yeah.
Don't matter where you hold it or anything. You get blindsided. You get blindsided, man. Everyone fumbles those. Yeah. Tom Brady fumbles those. Mahomes fumbles it if he gets blindsided, man. People are human, period.
That's the reason why we went to the run game, y'all, because Coach Heupel did not trust the backside.
You want him getting hit. You don't want him getting hurt.
Because, I mean, it's just we got to have to accept the way that's the game plan that Heupel had to go to. Shorten the game, get to the bye week. We were in control of the game. We have a stellar defense. I know a lot of people hate the term. We were playing not to lose. Yes, you could say that, but you're also playing smart because you don't have the tackle bodies. You're going up against I ain't gonna say elite defense, but a really good defense, and they can smell blood in the water.
Top 20, top 15, top 10,
20.
top 5.
I'll say top 20.
Okay.
Which and I mean, and it's still a SEC top 20 defense that can expose your weakness, which was the tackles, and that's what every SEC. I think every SEC defense that we play, if we don't get our tackles, we will struggle in some parts of the game because it's just that's the way it is.
Yep. I agree.
All right, let me get back to you guys in the chat. Let's see. AGR for 2. This defense with Hooker would have been crazy. I think Nico's going to be better than Hooker. I don't know.
Well, I think we go undefeated with this defense in 2022.
Hooker got blindsided all the time, just the same, guys. Blasted in LSU, multiple fumbles in South Carolina from the blind side.
Hooker missed some deep shots too, man.
It happened to
he
him
missed some deep shots,
man. It wasn't. People always remember the roses and daisies, but there's a lot of dirt that takes to grow those damn things. Just remember that. It's a thing.
All right. I promise I'm going to get to your all super chats. Papa T and SC for 20. Boogie, we are 4-0, period. Coach Hype shut it down due to our O-line issues, poor officiating, the conditioning of the field. Our defense was dominating and said, let's just lean on our defense and call it a night. Go Vols. We're going to talk about that defense here in just a second. Thank you, Papa T. Wayne for 20. What's with the $2? We want to hear Pat. Go Vols. I have to play Pat after that.
Rocky Top!
Thank you, Wayne. Timothy McGee for 5. Plus, Nico isn't ready for the full playbook just yet. Coach Jay was helping him along. I disagree with that, too. J-Ball for 2. UGA barely beat Kentucky last week. Oklahoma greater than Kentucky. Oklahoma greater than Kentucky. Tennessee, son. Do we need to do Steiner math again? Austin for 5. Beat up O-line dominant defense. Go in to get the dub. Not to please fans. Shout out coaches for not playing with emotions. It's Rome Baby for another 2. He said after the game that he held back second half. Scott Bennett for 5. What is your floor? Minus 11. Georgia is the only loss.
Health.
Health. It's college football. I'm exactly where I was at before the season. My prediction's still 11-1.
That's where the story, and I'll let you get right back to it, Boogie. That was the story before the season started.
Yep.
And everyone asked, will we go 11-1, 12-0? I said possibly, but you need everything to go your way. You need to stay healthy. We're deep enough at a lot of positions, but
not the offensive line.
Not offensive line and not safety yet. We're getting there, guys. We're so close, just a little bit longer.
Which is crazy to think that the depth at linebacker, the depth at wide receiver, the depth at running back, Deshaun Bishop, just a dude, man.
Yeah.
Timothy McGee's been a member for a year. We appreciate you, brother. Good win. Plus, Oklahoma has a good defense. It's wrong, baby, for another 2 because our defense was so good. Sword of the Demon for 10. Tennessee played a game today, one of slow methods, trusting each other to get the job done. We may not have liked the look of it, but that is still a 10-point win over a top 20 opponent on the road. Hot Rod for 2, SEC road win. I'm not going to complain. Big Trey for 2. You always keep your foot on the pedal if you can. Robert for 5. Appreciate you, Robert. Wall Kingfishers the car with a smile. I don't know what language Robert's speaking. Wall Kingfishers the car with a smiler, but lots of concern. Go Vols. I love you, Robert, but
Boomhauer.
It's what they call you, Coach Rice. Randall Perry for 20. A win is a win. An ugly win is still better than a pretty loss. That is right. Randall Perry, we appreciate you, buddy. Brandon Lively for 2. Let's freaking go. Nicholas for 10. Says, I'm proud of this team and I'm proud of that big dub on the road. Coach Rice, don't get mad at me because I agree with you on everything. Feel like Golish took half of our offense with him. Thoughts? No. I'm not even letting Coach Rice answer that. No. Our offense was not Alex Golish. It was Josh Heupel. Alex Golish is a great coach. Alex Golish was extra eyes in the box. I love Alex Golish.
Scored 15 points tonight.
Coach Rice, you can answer it.
It's not Alex Golish. It's Coach Heupel's offense. Yes, it was extra eyes on the box who knew Heupel and knew kind of they had good chemistry of what they wanted to do. But it's Coach Heupel's offense, and our biggest thing is getting the tempo, getting back to running the ball, and that's when you start seeing those explosive pass plays. And when you don't have your 2 tackles, you're not going to see that.
Can I just praise the coaches for 1 second? Thank you for not calling a shovel pass in this game. It's not that I don't love the shovel pass. It just would have been a horrendous play in this specific game. So thank you for not doing that. But I loved the backside back speed option that we play. And Nico ran it well. I will throw one quick dart at Nico, though, if you guys are looking to pick at him a little bit.
Whoa.
I thought that he didn't pull down enough RPOs when he was getting crashes from the cheetah position.
Yeah.
Do you think that was
something he needs to work on?
But do you think that was by design? Do you think they wanted him to run less? Because I saw BallQuest. I was scrolling through the message boards, and I think it was a 2nd and 10, 2nd and something, and he pulled up like 2 yards short, and everybody's like, "Oh, why aren't you picking up the first down?" It's like, well, because y'all were yelling at him a week ago, saying, "Why don't you slide?" It's like you can't win for losing.
Oh, I was mad about that.
I think he had a little conversation. I think there was a little conversation this week saying, "Hey, we need you. Get your butt down, live to play another day." And it's like, sometimes it's like, man, I want you to go get those extra 2 yards. Nicholas says Boogie for 2. Boogie, you can't get mad at me either. I'm not mad at you, Nicholas, but if you, I've just heard that question about Golish so many times. It's Josh Heupel's offense. But I don't know. It's just interesting if Nico was told to not pull it as much. But I even the game was basically over, but it's like one more first down, and it's actually over. And I'm sitting there thinking, Nico's got to keep this because he's not kept it all night long. And if he keeps it, that outside, but the guy, he held contained. Nico just gave him a little whoop. He hit that R1. Whoop.
The other thing that we did, and I don't know, Coach Rice, maybe you can tell me because I couldn't figure it out. We never saw misdirection really in this game from the offense. Did you have an inkling why? Because I couldn't quite put my thumb on it.
Yeah, you didn't see. I think I saw 2 counter plays the whole game, and that was early in the first half. I don't know if because Oklahoma stopped it, if Heupel just went away from it, but they later in the game they ended up just doing all the trap, not counter trap, but it's just single trap play where they pull the right guard or right tackle around. And then it's a lead trap play pretty much, but not counter. So I don't know what the run game was. I don't know if it was because where they had Stutzman up on the line a lot, close to the line, trying to beat where the guard would pull, try to beat the reach block. He was trying to beat it. So I don't know if that was a lot with why they weren't pulling the guys as much. They did a lot of zone stuff tonight. So it's something that me and you obviously will watch on the rewatch and be able to identify a little better. But it's a lot of it goes with beating a dead horse here with what you had on the offensive line, what you could do with your versatility in the run game, what you could do in the pass game. That's the reason why you saw the conservative play calling, and it just is. That's the reason why it was so. The play calling was so at people were arguing, man, this play calling is very conservative, not very good. It's everything. I mean, that's what it is. Those tackles not being in the game changed everything.
I got a bunch of people saying that I've not read their super chat, so let me get them. MG
Yeah,
Wade for 2. Are we not going to talk about the fumbles? And again, this is why I got to try to stay caught up. This is 25 minutes ago that came in.
Okay,
that's how far behind we are. So yeah, we did talk about them again. Offensive tackles. Knoxville Buckeyes been a member for a year. Loved Herbie calling out Oklahoma on the unethicalness of the fake injuries. And how about it being Deshaun Terry of all people? Dave Morrison for 5. Remember the last road game that we were ranked in the top 10? This win wasn't that bad. That's right. Drink it in and enjoy it. We're 4-0, a third of the way through the season. Big Orange Mountain for 10. It's been posted. Hurd was cleared to play and chose not to. Hope it isn't true. Oh, boy. All right, so that's what I was talking about earlier that was all over Twitter. It was floating around Twitter that Hurd was cleared to play and chose not to. Now, do you believe that? Do you know that? Where did that come from? I don't know. That's speculation. It's internet rumors. We talked about all this stuff this week leading up to it. It's very weird that they said he could have played last week, right? If it was Oklahoma, he's good to go. Precautionary, we're going to hold him out. He didn't take the trip. He didn't fly. Numbers are limited, right? For road games, you only get to take X amount of scholarship athletes. So that's part of it. So you can kind of understand why maybe he wouldn't take the trip. Then I've seen people saying, why would he not take the trip and support his brothers? So you can speculate. Nobody's ever going to know. Was it Heupel lying about the injury a week ago, or is there more to it? Who knows?
Thankful he didn't play with that ankle in this grass, though, now.
Yeah.
So we'll see if anything comes of it over the next week or two. We got a bye week, so we'll see what happens. Mad Mopar Motorsports for 2. O-line has to get better if we want to beat Georgia, in my opinion. Yes, they do. Papa J for 10. Happy for the win, but disappointed with the Fulmer S second half play calling. Oh, man, I thought that multiple times. I was like, this feels like we're trying to just survive. Ethan Dalton for 2. Jacoby T is a physical dog. Peely is everywhere. Both those dudes are dogs. Seth Brooks for 10. I don't think we see Nico for Heisman this year, but next year, what about Dylan Sampson having 10 touchdowns through 4 games? He's going to set a record this year. I think the record's 18, and I think you got to go back to like the 1930s or something ridiculous. So we'll see. We still got some scrubs. We got Kentucky. We got Vanderbilt. I think he can get to 18 touchdowns. Wayne drops another 20. He said, can I hear it again, please? Just for you, Wayne.
Rocky Top!
You're the man, Wayne. Appreciate you, brother. King Ball 300 for 2. 1998, we beat Florida 20-17. Auburn 17-9, and Arkansas 28-24. Just win and survive and advance a week at a time. Paradox becomes a member. We appreciate you, brother. Vol fan 25 for 10. To the ones who are going to try to ruin this week, remember when Pruitt and the past coaching staff screwed over Tennessee. Don't go back to battered Vol syndrome. I had a bit of it. I was anxious in this entire game. Timothy McGee for 5. Door feed. Did you skip my earlier super chat? No, I read it. Guys, just understand for the post-game show, we try to balance going to you guys versus having a conversation. I want you guys to enjoy the show and get the most entertainment value. I don't care if you give $2 or $50. I want to read your super chats, but we try to balance it. So I appreciate you guys being patient with us, and thank you for the super chat, Timothy. Angry Titan for 2. The Trojans are overrated. Tune in to Talking Trojans tomorrow. Oh, wait, he's muted.
They sure as heck can't tackle in the back end. That's for dang sure, Angry Titan. Man, what a poor tackle.
Talking Trojans. Heath Cadle becomes a member of the channel. Shout out, Heath. We appreciate all you guys joining the channel. That support helps keep the lights on around here. So think about hitting that join button. Lance for 2. Heupel pulled a Fulmer and went conservative. Vols girl for 2. Did you guys see Pat's pick this morning? Oh, man, he was trolling Oklahoma. Good old Nate Pruitt for 5. Not much to say. Here's my cover charge boogie. Howdy, Coach Rice. Howdy, Coach Jay. God bless and go Vols. Appreciate you, Nate. Michael Nicely for 10. I have to play a little bit scared. I have to play a little more downfield. Played a little too close to the line of scrimmage. The majority of plays pushed the ball down the field a little more. Carson for 2. Hype beat Oklahoma with his old offense. Point proven. Now that's hilarious. Big Trey for 5. Every team has problems. We are elite. I'm so proud. Evan counts for 2. We're winning and still full of piss and vinegar. Man, it is crazy how quick things change. Dylan for 5. We've knocked off 2 top 25 teams in September. We would have killed for this just 3 years ago. Bronson Hickman. Wait, is he in the chat? Dane Davis needs to step up. He lost us 2 big plays. More than that, Bronson. What's the Oklahoma center's name?
Branson Hickman. I think Branson.
Okay. I think it is Branson Hickman. I thought he was on the bus going back to the hotel, getting on Talkin VAWLS Live, watching the postgame show, trying to take shots at our guys. Paradox drops a 20 spot. We'll do it.
Rocky Top.
He says the difference between Nico and Joe, no offense to Joe, but Nico is live action, but defense won this game. GBO. I love the backyard play that went for 50. Loved it. Alex for 20, no comments. Just happy to beat Oklahoma at home. Well, we appreciate that. Here's another 20, so we'll play another clip for both of you guys.
Rocky Top.
FDB for 20, a 10-point conference road win over a ranked team is impressive AF. And play Rocky Top, please. We played it just for you, FDB, and I didn't even read that. I didn't even know that. Let's see. We got another 20 spot from Vols Lover 1. I'll do it again.
Rocky Top.
Says the only hard thing about being a Vol fan is the judgment by the fans. Do you remember 98? If I remember correctly, we barely made it by Syracuse and a near miracle with Arkansas. I do have faith in our team and coach. Yeah, 100%. Arkansas, the fumble. What happens if Billy Ratliff doesn't fall on that fumble? We're not winning a national championship. ASJ for 5. It really should have been 32-9. Reps called the game one-sided. Win is a win. GBO, that's for Coach Heupel. Austin for 2. Georgia State head coach, Buddy, run QB, top 15, dub by 10 OTR.
Exactly.
Like y'all are speaking a foreign language sometimes. Negaval for 2. Top 5 team going into Arkansas. I'm happy. W. Rickard for 2. Do you think conservative because field was trash? Maybe. And the fact that your tackles were hurt. And it's like we can't afford anybody else to get hurt. Brian for 2. What team challenges us best this season and why? Georgia, because they've lost like 3 games in how long? 3 games in like 3 years. Vols Nation.
Mississippi State.
Oh, I thought Vanderbilt.
Okay. Sorry.
I thought you
Vols Nation becomes a member of the channel. We appreciate that. All right, we are caught up with Super Chats with Chandler Matthews driving a 20 spot. Let's play the clip.
Rocky Top.
Chandler says, who are we right now? We could so easily have taken a loss here. Terrible field conditions, untimely penalties, great Oklahoma defense and injuries. We win by 10. Come on, UT Nation. Let's be grateful. Go Vols. That's a perfect Super Chat to segue into some positivity. Let's segue into a little positivity here. And if you guys keep the Super Chats coming, we'll keep the show rolling. We'll roll over with you guys and we'll keep talking about it. But shout out Chandler. I appreciate the Super Chat. Let's talk about this freaking defense, right? And how let me rattle off some numbers. Yes, the streak came to an end tonight. I think all 3 of us predicted that, or maybe that was me and Coach Jay on Friday morning. But I think all of us did because of our predictions. That was Wednesday night we did that. Because of our predictions, we all believed that the streak was going to end 19 quarters without allowing an offensive touchdown. I want to see how far back that goes because it was like 1938-39 going into this game. You had a safety when the game was still tight, right? The game was still tight. It was still close. You pin them down there deep. You go make a play. You had 3 turnovers. You had 11 TFLs, 3 sacks. You gave up 222 total yards. Is that ugly? Is that bad? Is that terrible? Or is that elite? 36 rushing yards, 1.1 yards per carry. That's elite. Third down, you were 3 of 15. 3 of 15 on third down. I said it earlier. Say it again. Peely's a dog. Jacoby Thomas. He reminds me like an old school, like Ronnie Lott, like just a dude. He is looking to hit you any chance he gets. We know this D-line is dominant. We saw different guys tonight, right? Jackson Moy getting involved in the party. Jackson Moy having some fun out there making plays. Tyree West had a sack. He continues to make plays. James Pierce got in on the fun. He had a half a sack. He should have had, he had several opportunities. Jason Jenkins, wasn't he the one that he cleaned up the safety, I think? So this defense is making plays. Go ahead, Coach Jay, and then you just kind of run with it and talk about this defense.
I was just going to say James Pierce really had that sack. He just the quarterback bailed and ran into Jenkins on Jenkins' sack, and Jenkins had that play early in the game. But look, when this defense was playing aggressive before they got into prevent, if we would have stayed in that, they wouldn't have scored. I firmly believe that. It wasn't something magical their backup quarterback did. It was allowed to happen by Tennessee, and that's what frustrated me. But look, I mean, I could go through my defensive notes forever. I mean, McCoy's coverage on 4th and short early in the game on the very first season was awesome. Peely stuffing the quarterback draw. You know, we were so worried about Jackson Arnold running that draw on us, and we got hurt in the past by Old Miss and everyone, this and that. Peely stuffs it early. We were worried about the edge. Arian Carter was shutting down that edge, leaking out most of the night. The extra point or whatever stop comes to mind, or the goal line stop Carter had came to mind. I thought Ricky Gibson played a little loose early. I don't know that was a PI on him. I kind of like the coverage.
It was within 5 yards of the line.
Yeah, exactly. That I was right in my notes, Coach Rice, within the first 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. And
you know what's interesting about that too is the wide receiver engaged. The wide receiver engaged the contact, and they were just still kind of tangled up when the play continued. Yeah, I thought
that's what Coach Piper was saying. He said, it was within 5 yards. It was within 5 yards because the defensive player, the cornerback, or anybody is allowed to put hands on generally on the offensive player within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. Then after 5 yards, you got to get hands off.
Yep, correct. But just all over the field. You can name so many names. Like I said, Jason Jenkins on the safety. Joseph's causing that fumble. Awesome.
Forced two of them.
Stuff.
Forced two of them.
The defense was hitting hard hitting, aggressive, hard hitting with their hat up, ass down, knees to nuts, wrapping up. Boo Carter laying the wood. I know it happened to his own detriment, but man, he smoked that dude, certainly. So the one thing I didn't like, I think it was kind of in the middle 8 somewhere, is they were having some success attacking our edge. I thought we could have squeezed our edge down a little bit better on that jet sweep and some of that stuff in that middle 8 flats.
One of those is where I thought Turrentine looked really slow and took a horrible angle. Horrible angle. Horrible
angle. Christian Charles, Eason had pressure on the quarterback. You can just once again go up and down this list. I'll be interested in, maybe on my rewatch, I'll just pull up the defensive roster as a whole and start putting little marks next to them when I think of something or see something good they've done, because man, they were all over the field. Like I said, I thought Peely was legit and great tonight. I thought Arian Carter looked good. He got a couple tough face mask calls, but he was playing super aggressive.
That last one was BS.
Yeah, which you love to see. I know it didn't come up in the stat sheet, but I thought T-Lander played hard-nosed, chin down football, that kind of bite down football that doesn't come. James Pierce, once again, I know it's tough. Like I was on a team that went really far in high school, and we had a mixed start to our season. And there was one game I remember being on the bus home, and the coach was just like, it was a tough loss early to a team that we'd later beat in the playoffs, and we just couldn't get there. It's like we were affecting everything the whole night. And he was like, damn it, stay with it. And I promise you good things are going to happen. I believe that for Pierce too. I think he's been affecting a lot of plays. I think if he sticks with it, good things are going to happen for him this year, and he'll have some takeoff points. And God knows the rest of this defensive line is eating because they're shuffling over to him. So I'm just happy as can be with how fast this defense is playing.
And people talk about like, oh, he's not gonna be a first round draft pick now. You don't think these NFL guys are gonna pull up the tape and see what's actually happening every single play? You don't think they realize that guys like Omar Norman Lott, guys like Bryson Eason, everybody, like Coach Jay just said, is eating because of the amount of attention. And again, it's a team sport, man. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what the stats look like. Just go win. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, they had Pierce had literally 4 sacks, like in reach. It's just, half
Yeah.
second, he steps up and, or he had one where he let the quarterback kind of slip out of his hands where he was on a twist. It's just small things, but at the end of the day, he's making the other guys better. Joshua Jones is eating, Jackson Moy's eating, Jason Jenkins is eating, Omar Normalot, Bryson Eason, all those guys. We played 14 D-line and edge guys tonight. Jordan Ross even got a couple snaps. Caleb Herring got a few snaps. So I thought it was awesome to watch. Just the whole front seven, and I'd even say the corners. The only two.
Oh yeah, they've been
And
great
Jacoby
all year.
Thomas played good. I thought, and Will Brooks even played a few good snaps. I thought he played the ball a couple good times, but the ends and the D tackles, guys, this is the most elite group, maybe as a team, that as far as position group that we've had in years. Like it's unreal how good and how much this defensive line and edge guys change the opponent's game plan, because you have to. They get rid of the ball quick, get the ball to the outside, screen game, screen game, screen game. It's just they're making unreal making the offense make choices that you don't see week to week in most cases. So I love to see Arian Carter flying around. That dude's flying around with his hair on fire. Keenan Peely, same way. T. Lander's been playing good. Ricky Gibson, like you said, I think he was playing kind of loose early, but mainly I think he was just letting the defense, let the game settle in, trying to fill it out, see what they were going to do. And Jabbar McCoy is a dog. And you've been saying it ever since on his film breakdown. That dude is a dog. He may go, which he's still got at least one more year. He may be a top 5.
He's a sophomore.
Top 5 corner in the draft in next year's draft.
He's a beast.
So he's a dog. And then you combine the 14 guys we played across the D line and edge. It's just unreal the esteem we keep putting on these offenses and controlling the chaos. So I love it. Our defense is elite. Defense travels. Coach Jay knows that as well as anybody. That's one thing. We could go to Georgia and stay in a game because of our defense. It may not be the prettiest, but because Georgia's got an elite defense too. But no matter what, defense travels. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the season as long as we get some tackles healthy.
I don't know when the last time it was. I think someone said it, and I was not that shocked by it. But Oklahoma doesn't lose and get covered on at home.
No.
That just doesn't happen. I can't remember how long they said it.
It had been forever, but my counter argument to that is what we talked about Friday. Texas, they play at a neutral site, and then their conference sucked. TCU, I think TCU
still bound to screw something up.
Sure,
you know what I mean.
Sure.
Like just the law of averages. It's been a advantage for them. It just has, man. And look, we also got the monkey off our back here a little bit with Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy losing to them the last 2 times.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Brutal. That last one was brutal.
The last one was brutal. I was dating a girl who went to OU at the time. It didn't end well. She slapped me. The girl slapped me. I won't tell you what I did. I did nothing wrong. But
you deserved it.
Well,
you deserved it. We've heard this story. We've heard this story.
I may have done something to deserve it. But point was, I didn't like losing. And now I'm married to a beautiful Volunteer fan who is amazing. And I'm going to keep talking like that. So I try to look good to her.
How much does she like it when your phone goes off and it's me telling you to play your stupid game and quit holding us up on the Dynasty?
I tell her so many times, I got to play my game. Boogie's yelling.
I was telling my wife that story just this week, and I was like, it's so comical because I almost said her real name, because Mrs. Coach J, like, I'm the scapegoat, and Coach J throws me under the bus, and my wife's like, well, that's what a good friend does, right? And I'm like, Mrs.
Right.
Coach J can be mad at me. and that's fine. But the
not
real instigator is this guy down here. He's the one that's messaging me saying, "Are we
That's
going to
right.
advance this stupid thing or not?"
Hey,
I'm like,
Coach Jay, ban his ass.
I'm like, Coach Rice, it's Saturday. We're watching football, brother. We ain't about to advance on a Saturday. That's the true story. That's what's so
That
funny.
is the true story.
It's
That
so
is
funny.
very
That is the
true.
truth.
But hey, he is just my right hand man because I'm thinking, look, we advance. I'm gonna go look. I'm gonna see Coach Rice online. And I'm gonna be playing my game. Like the second we advance,
Check up, bro.
him and I are playing every time. It's so funny. It's like
do it.
we're the only two people online. One last thing I wanted to say about the defense was I thought it was interesting. You talking about when they went prevent late, and that's when Oklahoma started moving the ball. Oklahoma only had 4 drives on the entire night out of 16. 4 out of 16 that went more than 4 plays. 4 drives that went more than 4 plays. That is ridiculous. And 2 of those were in the fourth quarter when Tennessee went soft. The 14th drive when they were down 22-3, and then the last drive where they scored the touchdown. So 4 drives, and 2 of those were in prevent. That's some dominant elite defense. Let me catch up with you guys in the chat. JJ Lambman's Cloudy Productions, the Mafia Stories. They should charge you more for the length of your name. He's been a member for 23 months. He's the ultimate troll that most of you all hate in the Facebook group, but I'm never going to ban him because he makes me laugh. Big Orange Mountain for 5. The big hit was Thomas, not Carter. Announcers were wrong. Yeah, Jacoby Thomas is the one that laid the hit.
Yep.
But Aaron Carter had some hits tonight too. Vol fan 25 for 5. I'm going to head out for the night, but I'll be here for the next live session if I don't have work or out with the family. Yeah, day after video will be coming. I don't know if I want to say bright and early tomorrow, whenever I wake up. I'm a bachelor tonight. Wife and kids are gone. It's me and the stupid dogs. So they may wake me up at 5 o'clock. So I may be up bright and early. So that'll be drop. Day after video will drop in the morning. I may make a recruiting video in the early afternoon. There's some news to talk about there. And then the fan call-in show will be tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Bleed Orange for 10. Well, my kids' team took an L. It was a hard-fought game. I got in trouble by the wife for being too loud. He says, our defense is nasty. Who cares? It was conservative, complete team win. GBO, great win. Hey, use those losses as teaching points, man. You can always learn something from losing. Evan counts for 2. D-line probably just sent Jay Arnold to Kiffin. Oh, no. Timothy McGee for 5. Don't hate me for asking, but why don't they leave 12 personnel to help with blocking on the problem side?
They did. That's the reason why you saw that max protection on those deep balls. It was the reason why we couldn't run the ball or establish a couple things is because when we were 11 personnel, that they were just, they were slanting to the weak side. So they were taking away our run. So when we got into 12 personnel, the 2 tight ends, that's when you saw max protection. You saw go routes on both sides.
Am I crazy, or the play that Nico overthrew Brazil in the second half on the deep ball, did he only throw that because the guy was holding Brazil's jersey as he was running by him and he was trying to get a PI called? It like Nico even said it after. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it. I honestly didn't.
Yeah, I didn't even see that. I didn't see that.
It seemed like that what happened, but I'll try to confirm it tomorrow on the rewatch.
Let's see. Tyler Maxwell for 5. Be grateful each game for here on out is a tremendous importance. Can't wait for the journey and the destination. GBO. We about to go beat the brakes off of Arkansas and Florida. Let me just tell you that. We're going to put a beat down on Arkansas and Florida. The next game that's not a scrimmage, I probably shouldn't say that on air because I'll get yelled at, is Alabama coming to Neyland Stadium. Brian Thomas for 2. Did y'all watch Snap? Did they catch on to it? Because weren't they doing the guard signaling to the Coop to Snap? Like silent count?
Yeah, it's silent count.
And they may have, but that's something you got to deal with on the road, right? Like, what else can you do?
Yeah.
What else can you do?
Not a lot.
No.
Yeah.
It's one of the good things about a road game. I mean, that's one of the bad things about the road game. You have to change up your snap calls.
And outside of Georgia, that'll be the most hostile environment we play in.
Yeah.
For the whole season.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
for
it.
sure.
So
for sure.
Good old Nate Pruitt for 5 says, dang, just watched Hype talking with the team after. That's real stuff right there. Oh, was it – hold on. Was it – where is it? Is this on Twitter somewhere, Nate?
Where do we watch?
I don't want to watch the post-game press conference because I watch that on Mondays. Is this somewhere on Twitter, Nate, that I can find it? If so, let me know in the chat. Will Murley for 2, Coach Josh Heupel post-game speech will give you chills on Instagram. Hold on.
Insta.
Is it the Vol Football Instagram? Hold on. We got to watch this. Oh, my gosh, it's making me log in. Hold on.
Oh, man.
Oh, gosh, I don't even know if I know my password.
They're blaring "Ain't No Love" in
Good
Oklahoma in
Lord.
the Tennessee locker room.
That's awesome. Yeah, make no mistake about it. This team is celebrating right now, as they should. As they
Hey,
should.
NBA Vol
Celebrate your
Boy.
road
Hey,
victories.
NBA Vol Boy has it on Twitter.
NBA Vol Boy.
All right, we got it right here. All right, let me share it up.
And Florida.
Thanks, Nate, for bringing that up. Let me pull it up here real quick.
Winning on the road's tough. Winning on the road against a good football team's tough. They're good. Okay? We're going to continue to finish better as we go. Played well tonight. Anybody think we played our best tonight? Good teams keep getting better. Keep getting better. I'm proud of the investment, the competitive composure, resetting to the next play, continuing to compete. Man, it's just us being us, all right? And let's just keep making us a better version every single day. You guys got me?
Yes, sir.
All right. This thing coming back to normal was never about me.
You can tell he's emotional.
Barry.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not.
Football's family.
I appreciate you all having a little extra for me.
Dude. That's our coach, man. That's our guy.
I love you guys, and I really mean that. We love you. I know. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of how we've grown. Damn, our best is still out in front.
Shit, I'm about to cry.
I know.
One day at a time to just keep getting better. You guys got me? Yes, sir. All right.
Wow.
Bow your heads. Grab two.
You, Coach, at this game ball for you.
Oh, neat.
Dude.
What a guy.
Now we're having fun.
Oh, I love it.
Dude,
Love
that
it.
is freaking. That's
awesome.
it. That's it.
If you're not proud of Tennessee's team and what coach has done with this team, I don't know what to do. And we can be critical, we can want perfection, but damn it, I'll tell you what, and I've heard other players say it in the past. These kids lay down and die for coach if you asked them to. They would. They'd fight for that coach, and they do fight for that coach. I'm proud to have him as a coach. That's freaking awesome.
Dude. Shout out Nate, man. Appreciate you letting us know that was out there. That was freaking awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Let me catch these last two here. Bill Miller for 2. Thank you for the super chat. Austin Mays for 5. Says, I guess my $20 super chat got lost. So here's 5 more. Do you think RD is better than Georgia a couple of years ago? I don't see a 20 from you. I'm sorry if I did miss it, man. There were so many coming through. RD is better than Georgia a couple of years ago. Man, I don't know. It's so hard to make those comparisons. They're elite, man. They're elite. I think Coach Rice may have been the one that said it earlier.
Yeah.
Safety, is that the only question? I mean, we're
That's
good
it.
everywhere else.
Well,
Even at Star. Even at Star.
On defense.
Yeah, defense. It's hard to compare, but I think they're elite. I think they're a national championship defense. I think look, like we said before we ever took a single freaking snap before the season started. You got to stay healthy. You got to take care of business. You got to go out and play the games. Like Coach Jay said about Nico, you got to go prove it on the grass. That's it.
Yeah.
But if watching that team and that locker room doesn't tell you what this culture is all about and all the speculation and the rumors and the stuff floating around about Herd, if that's you, good riddance. We'll figure out how to play without you because we don't need a cancer in our locker room screwing this stuff up. Bill Miller for 5 said, did playing conservative also allow us to stay vanilla to save some tricks in the bag? Can coaches discuss briefly? We talked about this a little bit earlier. I don't think it was by design, but I think it can be a factor moving forward.
No, it definitely wasn't designed. It's because of the position we were in with our health on the offensive line. That's point blank. That's all it was. That made me feel conditioned.
Yeah,
and
I think
the defense dominating.
Yeah, health and circumstances with the defense dominating, getting that lead. That man, I look. Someone asked me earlier, and I'll tell you. Shoot, I'll be honest with you. I thought Nico was freaking great. Poised and great. Did I think he made the big statement I expected? Did he come up short of that? Yes. Absolutely, he did. He didn't quite do that, but I thought there was extenuating circumstances. But that getting up by that early lead, that touchdown to Thornton, moving the ball down early
What
with
a
the throw to Brew.
What a throw to Thornton.
The throw to Brew, that allowed our defense to settle in and take command of the game, and that's awesome, man. That's great, and that's something to be super excited about.
I wonder if Heupel said anything about Herd in the press conference.
I don't know.
I doubt it.
I
bet it will come up when
I hope it
works. The media Monday.
Yeah, Monday.
I bet it'll come up Monday.
I hope it works out though, because I think we need him. I do.
I'm hoping it's just all smoke that's getting blown up for no reason.
And it could be. It could be.
It could be.
Who knows?
Could be. We'll see. We'll see. And even if it's not, sometimes someone needs to go through something and sit there and watch your team win from the couch. And sometimes you need to search yourself and say, hey, I didn't do the right thing here, or maybe I could have gone. There were some guys that put their blood, sweat, and tears out there, and I didn't do that. Let's hope it's an opportunity for her to look inward if he needed to. And if it wasn't, let's hope it's just an opportunity for him to take extra weeks to get healthy because we need him.
You see what Bagley just said?
Matt said, he expects him to be with the team in 2 weeks. Good. That's
okay,
good. We need him.
Yeah.
We need him.
Yeah.
And if it is the speculation and stuff that's going around Twitter, then he needs to stand before his teammates and apologize and say, I'm sorry I wasn't with you out there for that game. And hold them accountable. And look, family gives family second chances, right? That's what family does. You get a second chance. Now come be our brother and let's go to work. Let's go win a national championship. Got a couple more here. Hudson Dean for 5. Nico definitely has some growing pains, but the sky is the limit for him. Yeah, he's not going to be perfect, right? Right. It's not going to be. Big Orange Mountain for 5. Coach Jay, Nico didn't need to make that statement. He's saving it for a bigger game. That's the beautiful thing.
I think
it's
so.
the beautiful
I think you're right, though. Yeah, I think you're right.
Because guess what? There may be a game that this defense goes out and doesn't pitch a shutout, or they struggle, or they give up 17, 24 points, and Nico goes out and throws for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. He can do that.
I just don't think the opportunity was given to him. Like, I just don't think.
I agree with you, Coach.
He had the option to go out and throw for 300 yards. I mean, it just wasn't in the cards tonight, not having our tackles. And Oklahoma did have a pretty stout defense, and the way they were playing us, yes, I think we could have been a little more aggressive, attacking the middle a little bit, but that was in the play calling. That's not Nico.
I'll tell you what, if I was sitting back there in that pocket tonight, I'd have been freaking out, dude. With the amount of time I was getting
on the back,
especially the blind side. Yeah,
hell no, I'd have been like not running for my life, throwing the ball away every time.
But he showed again how elusive he is. Like,
composed. He was composed for majority. Other than what Coach Jay talked about, those were T-minus 2 seconds. They
were 2 fast
fumbles. I mean, what can you do in those situations? Other than that's the reason why you see later in the game, Coach Heupel used 12 personnel and max protect and just send 2 goals on the outside.
I was expecting an interception with as much disguise as they have in this game.
Me
to
and
be
you both.
honest.
Me and you both.
I didn't, did we have a plan where we could throw for 400 yards, 350 yards? No, you're right. Did we have a plan where we could throw a pick? There were those opportunities there, certainly. There was some times it could have happened. He didn't fall for it. I'll try to send Boogie screenshots and circles later and bug him with it. But
You don't bug me. I
yeah.
love it. I love it. But also, you
but
can look at it too. If you don't get that phantom holding called on Trish Carrick, now he's still in for 250, and who knows what happens on that drive because you're down inside the red zone at that point. You know,
That was
who knows?
frustrating.
Ifs, ands, and buts, right? That's the name of the game.
Nuts.
Let me hit another super chat. Knoxville Buckeye for 5 said moved here in 07, fell in with a group of all fans, season ticket holders since 09. Balls have grown on me like orange slime. GBO, this team's special. Yeah, we have a knack for going and getting people that think they're Trojan fans or Buckeye fans. Man, there's something about Rocky Top that you can't deny, man. It's special, and I love seeing that clip of Heibel, man. Spoiler alert, tomorrow morning, the day after video, that's going to be played again. So go ahead and buckle up and get ready to watch it again because I'm going to show that again tomorrow. We'll probably watch it again on the fan call-in show tomorrow night. I'll probably watch it every day on every stream from here on out. Andrew Short, too, says, think Nico was going deep on that strip sack.
Yeah, he was. It was a switch concept. He was going to hit the post because it was coming open. It just
was the same one he burned NC State with, to be honest.
Yep.
Same switch. Yep, same switch. Yep, sure was.
It was coming open. Like it was there. If Dane Davis, if he could hold up a block, I mean, it was wide open. If they make the catch, we're up 17-3 at that point because that was right before the safety.
Yep. So about this 10% on the game. No.
I'm not going to pull it up, but you guys know how to show some love to the channel. Go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Pick up your merchandise. If you don't have it, Power T beside your name in the chat. If you like the videos, the content, the live stream, the freaking community that has been built around here makes me as proud as anything that we've done on YouTube. If you like that aspect of it, think about hitting that join button. There's 1,200 people watching live. If everybody hits that join button for $1, we're living the dream, and we get to keep doing this. My dad said to me just a couple of weeks ago, son, what are you going to do when the money stops coming in? I said, Dad, I'll go back and work a 9 to 5 and shut down the channel. I'm not too proud to work a day job. I did it for over 20 years. But we're blessed by the success of this channel and you guys that donate for the fans, bought by the fans, also fan funded. So we appreciate all of you that support what's going on around here. But that is going to do it. Day after video coming early in the morning, probably a recruiting video coming in the afternoon, and then we'll do the fan call-in show tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. No Friday morning show this week. Somebody up here is real special, and he got to be up in the box taking dude, he's gonna be Tim Banks. Did you see Tim Banks when the play clock was running down? He's like, I got 3 seconds, give me that mic, and he starts yelling at Keenan Peely. That was absolutely epic. Great. Michelle's still in the house. She drops a 20 spot. That's an Orange Boy. That's the perfect way to get out the door.
Rocky Top!
For Coach Jay, for Coach Rice, my name's Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go Big Orange.